Hi, I'm Michelle, and I come to you from IDEO. IDEO is a design firm that takes a human-centric approach to helping companies navigate change. And over time, there have been a couple different times when companies have had to really change their behavior. One of them was the industrial era, when we came up with new manufacturing processes and companies redefined what efficiency was. And then we had the digital era, and that's when we redefined our relationship with information, how we process it and how we transfer it. Today, we find ourselves in the climate era, and like those two previous eras, it's gonna affect all industries and require us to redefine everything that we have. And because you're here today, you've likely already embraced that challenge, and that's great. But we also know that sometimes it can feel a little bit like this. It's really daunting to try to convert a whole organization to new ways of thinking. And it's especially hard when you literally see the world burning around you. But we think that working in climate can and should feel a little bit more like this. We're really excited for it to come, and we're meeting it with optimism and joy. Now, we know it's a big shift from what's on the left to what's on the right, but the good news is we all know how to be a little bit more like Winnie the Pooh, because there was a time in our lives that we took on the big unknown and we did it with curiosity, with agency, and with joy. It's when we were kids and we did this through play. Here's how. So one, we were really great at expanding our playgrounds. We invited other kids to join us to make the magic. And today, one of the things we really love to do is we gotta go back one. I thought that video was gonna play. This should be a video, but anyways, we work with clients who want to bring their internal teams and their external partners along as they think about things from a circular design perspective. And oftentimes, we'll bring together product, engineering, design, also brand, marketing, customer service, and more, because we need those different perspectives in the room. But because we're so often working in silos, we use play to break down the barriers, to increase the conversation and the information flow. So we're learning from each other, and that before we know it, we're throwing out wild ideas, really innovative ideas that break beyond what we normally see. And if we're really successful, by the end, we're all really comfortable doing skits in front of each other, where we're trying out future scenarios and seeing what might work and what might not work, and getting feedback from each other. We really benefit from that idea of having people with different perspectives and expertise in the room. Number two, as kids, we build to think. We don't spend all our time talking or strategizing. We actually pick things up and we start to build. And from that, we learn what works and what doesn't work, and then we evolve our ideas and keep going. So when we worked with H&M, and I apologize, are these videos not playing? Sorry, these should be videos. But in working with H&M, we worked with them to tackle the excess inventory that they have that often ends up in landfill. And they've tried to tackle these challenges in the past. But when they did, they spent a lot of time strategizing, and we really pushed them to bias to action. And in doing so, we started off by talking to people throughout the supply chain and understanding what some of the challenges were. And a lot of those had to do with just helping to have more conversation across that supply chain and having more data be flowing across the different people within that supply chain. Once we had that and knew that was the issue, we were then able to go to Excel and create quick prototypes because it was quick, easy, and familiar. And that allowed us to quickly get to pilots, which through pilots, we soon learned that we could decrease the amount of inventory by 22% while increasing sales by 34%. And those numbers were enough to really get buy-in across the organization while also helping us get confidence that the approaches we were taking were working. Okay, number three, as kids, we were really great at taking puddles and turning them into splash zones. And this is really important because when we're talking about sustainable solutions, oftentimes we think of it as a sacrifice. We think we're gonna have to choose something that's more expensive, that's less convenient, or less appealing. And it doesn't have to be that way. Remember when we were kids and we would see a puddle and we didn't just worry about getting our shoes wet, we actually jumped in with both feet and had the time of our lives. And that's what we did when we worked with Melissa and Doug. They asked us to go with a constraint that we could only use wood as a material. And we took that wood and we realized that the constraint would actually propel our thinking, help us focus on solutions. And we saw the heft and how great that felt, how the weight made it really possible to drop the wood, have it roll, and how when we took two pieces of wood and clanked them together, they just made an amazing sound. And that led to the whole Go Tots line, that is their new line of toys for infants and toddlers. So in conclusion, I want to say thank you for everything you do to design for the climate era. We know it's not easy, but we hope that when the going gets tough, you can channel your inner child and remember a time when you used play to take on the unknown with curiosity, with agency, and with joy. Thank you.